Hello, Cancer. This is Carrie from Celestial Forecasts with your bonus reading for the second half of the month. This reading is going to be focusing on the divine feminine and the divine masculine and how it's affecting the connection, the overall vibe of the connection. We're going to be breaking it up into sections, and I will timestamp these down below, so feel free to watch the whole thing or just simply choose whichever side you're interested in watching, and hopefully it resonates. And it is general as always, guys. It's not going to resonate with every single person. So please do take from this whatever makes sense for you. Let the rest go. If you are interested in your own personal private reading, all of that information is down below in the description box. And I will, of course, include a link to all of the decks that are featured here today, Cancer. So we're going to start off with the Divine Feminine. Take a look at that first. And I'm going to be using the Divine Feminine Energy Oracle cards deck by Flames of Alchemy. And I do tend to say her and she for the Divine Feminine, but I do get that it can be for both female as well as male. So take it for how it resonates for the entire reading. Okay, guys, so let's dive right into this. Angels and spirit guides for Cancer, please, for this bonus reading for the second half of June. Focusing on the divine feminine, how is it affecting the feminine when it comes to this connection with the masculine? We have manipulation. Okay, so my feminines might be dealing with a masculine who's being manipulative with her at this point in time. And we've got the awareness card coming through here, which is tapped into the energy of the third eye chakra. Whenever my chakra cards present themselves, I do feel that there is a bit of an imbalance in that area, and it's coming through here for my feminines. So the third eye chakra taps into the words I see. It is between your eyebrows, and it's also what brings forward the energy of clairvoyance, that inner seeing, and it's also tapped into the energy of light. So if you're able to resonate with that, especially if you're naturally an intuitive or psychic individual, perhaps that's why this is coming through here. But I do feel it's presenting itself as an imbalance in that third eye chakra area. We do have the passion card coming through as well when it comes to my feminines. Even though you're dealing with a masculine who was not coming from the best place by way of this manipulative energy, there's still this very passionate pull and draw and attraction to the masculine here. And there's this card of unconditional love as well, followed by illuminations. Look at that. So what I'm picking up from this, from my feminines, is that you guys have been through some challenges in this relationship. But there's still love here. There's still passion. And part of this illumination energy for me is tapped into revelations and clarity, just being able to decipher for yourself what it is that you need clarity on when it comes to the partnership, the situation, any challenges that you guys might have been dealing with. With this illuminations energy, it kind of sheds light on things that were not dealt with, perhaps, or what's been swept under the rug, or what's been in the shadows when it comes to the connection. My feminines too are going through this spiritual upgrade. When it's tapped into my feminine spirituality, that's what that's picking up off of, I feel. Just being able to see things from a higher vibrational standpoint when it comes to this situation, the connection with the masculine. Now, I'm getting this for some of you. This is not going to resonate with everybody because this is the next card. We do have a mask energy coming forward from my feminines. So I've got a masculine coming through with this manipulation, and then I've got the mask from the feminine. I feel there might have been a point in time in the relationship where you were both not coming forward, being your true, authentic self, and just kind of hiding behind this mask. You're both wearing masks here. Okay? You're both just not being honest with yourselves or with each other, I feel. And that might have contributed to the problems of the relationship. So we're going to have to clarify this with some tarot messages to dig a little bit deeper for the Divine Feminine as to why it's presenting itself in this way. This is the Psychic Tarot by John Holland, Cancer. So let's add to this with some tarot messages. What's up with these messages that are presenting itself for the Divine Feminine? Angels and Spirit Guides, please bring forward some additional insight here for the Divine Feminine when it comes to this connection with the masculine. What's going on here? We do have the Nine of Cups. Cups is water. That's your own energy here, Cancer, that's presenting itself. So for my feminines, you do feel as though this masculine can fulfill your wishes. That the masculine offers this sense of comfort and satisfaction when it comes to the connection. There's this emotional stability attached to that Nine of Cups. And an added interpretation of this card is you might be dealing with a masculine who's been kind of drowning in their sorrows, just drinking their sorrows away, or just numbing their heart space, not wanting to feel those emotions, not wanting to feel, period. And that's why he's got this mask on, just being very manipulative with the feminine. But I've got a feminine here who might just be in that same energy. You're both wearing this mask. We've got the Six of Pentacles coming up next. So we've got Earth energy, Virgo, Capricorn, Taurus presenting itself. This is all about material and spiritual prosperity right there with that particular card. There's this giving and receiving that's necessary with this card, but I feel when things are out of balance in a relationship, that was a little bit lopsided. So my feminines, perhaps you were just giving a little bit too much to this masculine and they were just taking and not giving in return. That could be reversed as well. If we have a masculine who's just giving too much to the feminine and perhaps my feminines were not giving as much to the relationship. So it depends on how that's presenting itself in your personal situation. We've got Two Swords energies coming right after the other. We've got the Two of Swords, which is a mental conflict. This is a stalemate energy right here. And then we've got heartache and loss from the Three of Swords right after that. So some of you guys might be dealing with an air sign, also Libra, Aquarius, or a Gemini. So this is heartbreak that's occurred here in this relationship, which is why we've got this stalemate energy, unable to make any sort of movement or decision. It's like the love is here, the passion is here, but there was a point in time, I feel, where you guys were just not being honest with each other or being your real authentic selves with each other, and that contributed to the problems. But we've got two amazing cards, one right after the other also. We've got the Universe card, which represents the World card. And then we have this Light card presenting itself, which in this deck represents the Sun's energies, the Sun card in traditional tarot. Both amazing. So we've got clearly some challenges right here that are standing in the way of this happiness. There's a cycle that needs to come to completion here when it comes to this partnership. Cancer, focusing on the Divine Feminine. There's a door that needs to close. There's some closure, a cycle that needs to complete in order to open up a brand new door, in order to open up a brand new cycle for this partnership. And that new cycle is what's going to bring about the energy of the Sun, which is absolutely amazing because this is focused on happiness, joy, celebration, a cause for just overall fulfillment and joy and happiness in life and in a relationship, certainly. The Sun card too is very complementary to the energy of this Illuminations card, because that's exactly what this light represents. So what was in the darkness, whatever it was that you were both concealing from each other, is now coming out with the energy of the Sun and these illuminations that are presented here. And if that hasn't happened yet, It's on its way. There's healing that needs to happen here. And as long as you guys are at a stalemate, especially from the divine feminine's side, then, you know, we might just have to wait this out to get out of that energy. But with the World card presenting itself here, Cancer, for the divine feminines, this is a relationship that can actually start over. If things were a little bit shaky or rocky before, this is giving you guys a stronger foundation to stand on when it comes to the connection, when it comes to the partnership. So that's actually a really good thing here. Okay, so let's add to this with this deck. This is called the Moody Moon Messages deck, honoring the cycle of the divine feminine, gifted to me by my soul sister, Sister Moon Tarot. So let's add to this. Angels and spirit guides, please. For Cancer, for this bonus reading focusing on divine feminine energy, what else do we need to know? How is this overall connection between the feminine and the masculine? How is it affecting the feminine? How is it making the divine feminine feel? How is it contributing to her overall energy at this time? We've got tired. I'm ready for a new beginning. Okay, so my feminines are just tired with perhaps the old way of how you guys were interacting. That was not working for her. It wasn't working for the masculine either. And the World card is here to ensure that this new beginning is certainly possible. And the Sun's energy right next to the World is helping that along. We also have adventurous coming through for my feminines. I just want to explore. And part of this exploration, I feel, is focused on the future. You know, being able to just take a look with an open mind, an open heart as to what the future has in store for this relationship. And also what the future has in store for the feminine herself. Just overall vibe for her life. Because this is so much bigger than just a person's love life. There's so much going on here. And then we've got detached. I don't even know if I care anymore. Detached. So some of my feminines, that's what's contributing to this Two of Swords energy. It's like, I don't even know if I can make a decision here. And that's because my feminines are just dealing with this energy of the Three of Swords. Also heartache, heartbreak over the separation, going through that grieving process. And there are some of my feminines, you know, detached and adventurous. You've released your expectation and hold on this masculine, and you really maybe just want to see what else is out there for you by way of love and romance. And maybe you feel as though there's somebody else out there who could fulfill your wishes in love and romance and bring you the happiness that you deserve through this Sun card. Somebody that you don't have to pretend to be, something that you're not, somebody that you don't have to feel that you should wear a mask and not be yourself. That's coming through for some of you. Next card, anxious, just trying to get some relief. Understandably so. Having gone through heartbreak and pain as a result of a relationship that ended up not working out, that's very painful. So I'm not surprised to see that my divine feminines are in this anxious state right now as well. We also have nostalgic coming through, strolling down memory lane. This is tapped into memories of love here for the divine feminine, remembering the good times. remembering those adventures that she once had with the masculine and really wanting to explore more of those adventures. And I feel that that's what that's picking up off of as well. And this nostalgic card is very Six of Cups in energy for me, which of course Cups, Cancer, that's your own vibe. And so it might be you that's reminiscing, feeling very nostalgic about the connection. And the Six of Cups too, there's just that element of innocence to it all. Some of you guys might have even been childhood sweethearts and have known each other since you were young. And the Six of Cups as well can result in a reconnection, a reunion. That is what I am picking up off of that. So let's add to this, Cancer, for the Divine Feminine with some Romance Angels messages here. And let's take a look and see what else needs to present itself here. Angels and Spirit Guides, please, for the Divine Feminine. When it comes to this partnership, this connection, what else do we need to know here? We do have unrequited love, okay? So for some of my feminines, you have had a change of heart when it comes to this connection with your masculine, because they were manipulative, because they broke your heart, because they hurt you, which is why perhaps you are stuck in this Two of Swords energy, unable to create any sort of movement. You're at a stalemate. It's like you want to find love, you want to be happy, you want to head towards the energy of the sun. But there's healing that needs to happen here. There's balance that needs to be restored. And perhaps for some of my feminines, part of this unconditional love that needs to come through is for herself. Next message is wedding, okay? So there are those of you who are really looking long-term as to where this could end up. And what it is that you're looking for by way of this connection is a potential marriage someday. This could also be coming through for those of you who were married to your masculine, or you still are, but are going through some major challenges in your marriage. And the Sun card is tapped into unions and marriages. So there's a potential that you might still end up marrying your masculine here someday. We have heart-to-heart conversations. Honestly discuss your feelings with each other. Exactly. And in order to have those honest conversations, these masks have to be removed. And of course, it's so interesting considering everyone all throughout this whole entire world having to wear masks just to go outside with the whole pandemic going on, you know, so there's a special significance that's coming through for some of you guys when it comes to those masks. You know, it's almost like you're hiding behind these masks so that you don't really have to show your full emotion when it comes to this connection or what you're really feeling, you know, just possibly just trying to have that poker face so that they can't really read what's going on beneath the surface. But in order to really bring this back together and move things forward in this partnership, Divine Feminine, these heart-to-heart conversations are no joke. This is something that needs to happen. It's going to be very healing, I feel, for both you and the masculine. So no doubt about it, this is just clarification that you guys are not together at this time. There is this healing energy that needs to happen too for some of you. Healing family issues has to do with your parents. Your love life benefits as you forgive your parents. So for some of you, it could certainly apply that you've had some issues growing up, or you just didn't have a very good example in your upbringing of a healthy relationship tied into your parents. And if you have or hold resentment tied to that, that needs healing, that needs forgiveness in order for it to not affect your own relationships moving forward. We also have the new love card coming through, which for me has a couple of interpretations. There are those of you, of course, who have detached from this and you just want to move in a different direction. You want to find love elsewhere, and that is certainly your choice. This for me is an added interpretation, though, that there can be a new start, a fresh start, a new beginning in love with your masculine. And in order to get the ball rolling to do that, somebody needs to make the effort to make this happen. Great love is worth taking the steps you're guided to take. So masculines, I feel, are either waiting for the feminine to make that first move, or my feminines are waiting for the masculine. It could go either way. And if you're both waiting for the other to make a move or to reach out or to communicate, and you're both being stubborn and no one's making any sort of move to make that happen, that's what's keeping you guys at this stalemate energy, I feel. That's what I'm picking up from that. We've got finances and career also coming through here. Financial issues are a factor in your love life right now, feminines. So if finances have been a little bit tight, it's presenting itself here. But I do feel with the Six of Pentacles, when it comes to your finances, things will ultimately improve in that area. And then for some of you, you could certainly feel that you have had this past life connection with your masculine, that you have known each other before. There is this reminder from the angels to stay optimistic about this situation, that ultimately, if you just hold faith, hold firm to your faith and positive thinking, things can ultimately turn around and still work out. And the last card we have is the reconciliation card. So this can still come back together, Cancer. It's not an impossible situation for this to come back around. The timing might not be now, but there's still a potential that it can work out still. Okay, so I'm going to grab some dialogue messages from my self-created deck. This is the Woman's Oracle, or Woman's Intuition Oracle. So let's grab some dialogue from here. Take whichever one you're most guided towards for the Divine Feminine. So my feminines, what is it that you want to say to your masculine at this time? Angels and spirit guides for Cancer for this bonus reading. Focus on the Divine Feminine. What is it that you want to say to your masculine? Look at the bottom of the deck, guys. I love you. Okay. I mean, we already have unconditional love presenting itself here. So my feminines still coming through, letting the masculine know, I love you. Next message, be mine forever and a day. The desire to have the masculine back in her life, still coming through here from the feminine. I love a masculine who knows he's divine. Okay, that's coming through. We've got next another message. Looks fade. Find someone who's absolutely gorgeous on the inside. So for some of my feminines, certainly your masculine could be very handsome, very attractive. But you know, if this is going to be a lifelong commitment, looks do fade. You can't be basing your relationship simply on attraction from a physical sense. It needs to go deeper than that. And if certainly that's how some of my feminines are feeling about the masculine, that he's attractive not only on the outside, but on the inside as well. That he has a beautiful soul, a beautiful heart. Last message from the feminine. My life is shit without you. You know, that doesn't necessarily mean that my feminines have outright expressed these things to the masculine. These could simply be what she's feeling, what she's thinking. But, you know, obviously, if you guys are at a stalemate and not communicating, these are words that have not been expressed. But there is an opportunity to have those heart-to-heart conversations as we did that. We did get that card that came through here, and there is a potential to bring this back together, Cancer. Okay, so that's what I'm getting, guys, when it comes to the divine feminine. So let's go ahead now and take a look and see what's going to come forward for the divine masculine portion of this reading. So you're welcome to continue watching unless you just wanted to watch the divine feminine portion of this reading, guys. Okay, all right, so let's move on, focusing on the divine masculine energy. All right, so we're going to be using the Divine Masculine Energy Oracle cards. This, again, is by Flames of Alchemy. So let's dive right into it, Cancer. Angels and Spirit Guides, please, for Cancer for this bonus reading for the second half of June. When it comes to the Divine Masculine, how is he affected? How does he feel when it comes to this connection? He feels trapped. Part of the reason why he feels trapped might be because he's kept himself in the shadows, masculine shadow. So this might actually be a situation where my masculines have gotten themselves into a little bit of a pickle here, you know, getting themselves into a situation where they no longer feel they want to be. We have manipulate coming through. And that already came forward from the feminine side. And I feel here with the masculine shadow, for the divine masculine, there's some shadow work that needs to come through here. And this has definitely been coming through a lot in some of my readings recently. And that might have to do with the Mercury retrograde, which we are in currently. Might have to do with that, because I'm feeling some challenges here when it comes to the masculine. This is interesting. We've got agreement. And then we've got feminine shadow. Both the masculine and the feminine are in the shadows, focused on this divine masculine portion of the reading. And I feel part of the reason why that is because the masculine is keeping both of you there. And then we've got sacred union, followed by intrigued. So when it comes to my masculines, there is this curiosity factor that I'm picking up off of. He's definitely intrigued about where this relationship with the feminine could ultimately go by way of a long-term commitment. But right now, as long as he's in the shadows and he's keeping the feminine in the shadows, his hands are tied as far as being able to create any sort of movement to make this a reality. And it's interesting, you know, we do have this agreement card right here, and I feel for some of you that because focusing on the divine feminine portion of this reading, where I had manipulation coming through and the mask, you're both wearing masks here. And so now we've got both masculine and feminine presenting in energies that are in the shadows. And so what I'm almost feeling here for both of you is that you're okay with this. You're in agreement with this, that you guys are in the shadows, and that maybe you're just not ready to take it out of the shadows and explore where the relationship could go long term. I'm not quite sure why it's presenting itself that way, so we're going to have to dig a little bit deeper with some tarot messages here. And then there's that same manipulative energy that's presenting itself. All right, so let's add to this with some tarot. This is the Pining Rose Tarot by my dear friend Amy of Calico Moon. So let's see what else when it comes to this connection here, Cancer. Focusing on the divine masculine. Angels and spirit guides, please. What else do we need to know at this time when it comes to this connection? We have the Page of Swords, which in the upright is a youthful person, new communication, new ideas, and curiosity. But it was coming up reversed, and that's how I'm going to have to read that. So Swords is air energy, Libra, Aquarius, Gemini, Cancer. So some of you guys might be focused on an air sign here. So the Page of Swords is somebody who's curious. They might also be somebody that brings good news, however. But again, in the reverse, this is deception. This is manipulation, and there it is. So I really feel here my masculines are coming through with this manipulative energy. It came forward from the Divine Feminine's reading, and it's still presenting itself here. A Divine Masculine coming through as manipulative. Part of that manipulation might have something to do with this Seven of Cups, because this Seven of Cups is tapped into fantasies, options, choices, illusions, opportunities. Somebody who has way too many options here. And I got to put it out there, Cancer, because Cups is your own energy. So for some of you guys, especially of your masculine, Cancer, maybe you just had way too many options in love and romance, keeping both yourself and the feminine in the shadows. You know, it's almost like you've got this love for the feminine, and you ultimately do know that you want to be able to build a life with the feminine, but there's something else outside of this connection that's intriguing you, I feel, and that might have to do with other choices in love. And that maybe you're just not ready to settle down, and settling down maybe at this point for some of my masculines might just make you feel like you're trapped, like you're not ready to have your hands tied to a committed partnership, perhaps. That you're enjoying exploring these options. And for some of my feminines, that did present itself where there was that adventurous energy, just wanting to be out there exploring. And part of the reason why my feminines perhaps might be wanting to explore at this point is because they realize their masculine wants to explore also. We have the Page of Cups coming through here, Cancer, which, again, for my masculines, this is you coming through. And in this particular deck, this does say it's a young person, a love offer, inner child, creative opportunities, good news, and a crush. So my masculine Cancers, this is your own energy coming through here as the Page of Cups. This could also be for some of you who are still emotionally immature, might be a little bit needy. But the Page of Cups can represent a happy surprise as well for some of you guys. And then we've got the Knight of Swords here. An ambitious person, fast-moving, driven to succeed, impulsive. This is air energy right here. So we've got some air and water presenting itself here, Cancer, for my masculines. The Knight of Swords is somebody who's very action-oriented. They can be opinionated, doing things very hastily. I'm picking up too for some of my masculines that this could certainly be same-sex relationships, but I'm really just overall picking up that there are options, too many choices, too many fantasies when it comes to love and romance. Somebody's not ready to settle down here, my masculines, still wanting to explore whatever it is or whoever it is that the masculine is intrigued by at this point in time. We've got the Wheel of Fortune coming through. Destiny, good luck, karma. It's a turning point here when it comes to this situation. It's a life cycle that is presenting itself here. This is picking up off of fire energy as well, Cancer. So Leo, Aries, Sagittarius coming through. This is good karma right here. So maybe if things just haven't been going all that smoothly in this connection, things are about to take a turn for the better. This is also tapped into abundance and success, and that someone from the past is coming back. But sometimes when the Wheel of Fortune brings two people back together, sometimes there's an element of uncertainty there. So either my masculines are undecided about the connection, or my feminines might be. But no matter how you slice it, there's a potential for two people to come back together here. And if that is the case, my masculines have to definitely be in a better headspace and ready to commit and be exclusive instead of entertaining way too many options in love and romance here. Otherwise, this is where you guys are headed. That 10 of Swords, which is a painful ending here, which will result in betrayals, emotional wounds, crisis when it comes to long-term commitment. And that's just not something that's coming through with the best of energies. And then we've got the Devil card coming through with Capricorn energy, addictions, attachments, temptations, and lust. So that's a part of the issue here, guys. That's a part of the problem that's presenting itself here for my divine masculines. And the Devil card too could be picking up off of obsession. So my masculines could be obsessed about somebody else at this time. Or truly dealing with addictions. Addictions come in many forms, of course, but somebody might be drinking a little bit too much here. Overindulging is what I'm picking up from that. There's just this overall toxic, negative energy attached to the Devil. When it comes to love and romance, though, there is this desire to bring it back together. Still carrying a flame for that one person that got away and wanting to start over. And certainly with the Wheel of Fortune, there's a potential that this can still come back around. But there definitely has to be some major changes here in order to overcome the obstacles that are presenting itself here and to get the masculine and feminine out of the shadows. That's what's coming through. All right, guys, let's add to this with the Divine Masculines deck. This is by Bridget Rao of Divine Essentials. So let's continue. Let's keep digging a little bit deeper when it comes to the Divine Masculine here and the challenges that are presenting itself when it comes to the masculine reuniting with the feminine. Angels and spirit guides for Cancer for this bonus reading. We've got emptiness. My bed feels empty without you. So my masculines are definitely feeling this empty void as a result of the feminine not being a part of his life. And then we also have despair. I'm drowning in my despair for you. You know, we do have this 10 of Swords energy presenting itself. So you guys are not together for a reason due to more than likely infidelities and cheating, trust issues, betrayals, or addictions for some of you. You guys went through something difficult and painful here. And I do feel my masculines who are trying to just see things from a different perspective here are finally admitting to their role and how this all played out. I will taste your sweet kiss again, sweetness. So there's certainly that physical pull that the masculine is feeling towards the feminine. Missing her kisses, those intimate moments, the sexual connection. You know, my bed feels empty without you. What I'm picking up too is for some of my masculines, You know, they might certainly be entertaining other options when it comes to love and romance, but there's that one unique connection with the divine feminine that just stands out above the rest. So when he comes home at night to his own four walls, regardless of what's going on outside of those four walls, he feels lonely, he feels empty, he misses the feminine. Because whatever it is that he's looking for, he's not finding it out there. Soul cleanse. I've been purifying my mind and soul. So there are some of my masculines who are working on themselves. That need for that soul cleanse is so crucial here to get you guys out of the shadows. Last one, pleasure. Nothing comes close to how deep you please me. See? So even though some of my masculines might be entering into some casual relationships that could just all be about sex and hookups and friends with benefits, for some of you guys, there's that one connection, one divine feminine, the only one that matters. But it is that one feminine that's being kept in the shadows because of all of these other options in love and romance. That is what I'm picking up from that. All right, so let's add to this with the Romantic Confessions from the Divine Masculine deck. This is another deck by my soul sister, Sister Moon Tarot. So let's add to this, guys. Let's see what else needs to be expressed here from the Divine Masculine. Angels and spirit guides, please, focusing on Cancer. The timing just wasn't right when we met. So there's an issue with timing here for some of you guys. Next message. When we looked into each other's eyes, it was so intense. I felt it too. So you're both feeling so drawn to one another, but as long as we have a masculine who's wanting to entertain other options, that definitely creates a bit of a blockage here. This one keeps popping up for a reason. I am always looking for you in everyone I meet. Exactly. He keeps looking for what he's already got, and that's another common theme that keeps popping up lately in my readings, especially if you're a cross watcher. You'll see like similar energies are presenting itself with other signs. Next message. I lied to you when I told you I didn't care. And remember from the Divine Feminine reading, we had manipulation and mask presenting itself. Both of you guys, both the masculine and feminine, were wearing masks. So maybe you guys were both telling each other things that you really didn't mean, or you both were not being honest with one another. I lied to you when I told you I didn't care. So what this is saying here is that the masculine does care about the feminine. And part of the reason why he lied is because of this. I just got scared. And last one, I want to talk to you, but I can't find the right words to say. So timing. It all boils down to timing, Cancer, when it comes to the masculine's perception of what's going on here in the connection. So let's add to this with some additional dialogue messages. This is my self-created one. This is called the Thinking Man Oracle, focused on divine masculine messages. So let's grab some additional dialogue because I feel my masculines have a whole lot more to say here. So let's grab from here, take whichever one you're most guided towards when it comes to the masculine that you're watching this reading for. Angels and spirit guides, please, for Cancer, for this bonus reading. What else does the masculine have to say to the feminine at this time? Bottom of the deck. Oh, wow. Okay. That one was needed, I'd say. Look at this. I'm ready to settle down with you. So there are some of my masculines that have been exploring other options, but really not able to find what he was looking for because he had it all along, and ready to finally commit. That's coming through for some of you guys when it comes to your masculine. Next one. I know you've been hurt before. Let me be the one to heal that broken heart of yours. Okay, so I really do have some of my masculines who are stepping up, ready to be a better partner for the feminine. Let me be yours. So it's up to the feminines, of course, if they are willing to accept the masculine back. It's like, I know I've messed up. We've both messed up. Let me be yours. Let me be the one that you choose. Next message. I do love you. And perhaps someday I can find the courage to just say it. That's because, remember, my masculines are scared to say it. You know, being able to commit perhaps for some of my masculines are just freaking them out a little bit too much, you know? So, but I do feel based off of what's coming through here, there's a chance to make this work. I'm ready. I wasn't ready before. I'm ready now. Next message. I'm still so drawn to you and I hate it. This would be much easier if I didn't love you as much as I do. So what I pick up from this is there could be a masculine who would perhaps prefer to not commit. I do pick that up for some of you, that they would prefer to just be out there continuing to entertain all of these choices and options. But what's making that so difficult and really not as exciting as it was before is because he has love for this divine feminine. So it's making him question. It's like, why the hell am I so drawn to you? I really hate that I'm drawn to you, but I am. And that's because I love you. So really, it takes this masculine having to be ready to get to this point of settling down to be able to choose the divine feminine rather than choosing from all of these other options that are presenting itself. Last one. When it comes to you and I, those intimate moments are so much more than just two bodies having sex, moving in unison. I want to make love to you again. Well, yeah. Emptiness, my bed feels empty without you. I will taste your sweet kiss again. Sweetness. All of these messages coming from the masculine to the feminine. So yeah, I'm not surprised that that is also coming through. All right, so let's add to this with some romance angels. Once again, focusing on the divine masculine here. Angels and spirit guides for Cancer for this bonus reading for the divine masculine. Please bring it forward for me. Codependency. Addictions are affecting your romantic life. The devil. Addictions. So somebody is dealing with an addictive behavior here. My masculines. And that is a red flag. It needs to be addressed because it's contributing to some sort of blockage here or barrier that's preventing the two of you from coming together. This has to be addressed. Look at this. We've got chemistry presenting itself. There's a strong magnetic attraction here, which we've already picked up off of that. There's passion here as well, which we already know. We already know there absolutely is. Next card, let your friends help you ask for and accept support from others. So, you know, if you're masculine watching this and you're picking this up for yourself, of course, and this is what's going on in your situation, You've got a pretty good support system here. Rely on your friends, your family, those who have your back to be able to help you process what's happening here. If you are watching for a masculine, there are friends that could also walk you through this. Let go of control issues, my masculines. Allow the situation to unfold naturally. And that's because everybody's got their own free will. The masculine does, the feminine does. And should this come back together, then it's meant to be, you know, let it go. If it comes back, it was meant to be. And certainly with the Wheel of Fortune, that opportunity will arise for some of you. And it's also coming through that perhaps the masculine is now finally understanding that the divine feminine that he hasn't been able to forget about or move on from is his true love. That this is the romance of a lifetime. You know, and sometimes people have to not make the best decisions in order to realize that. Running away from the very thing that they had all along to discover something way better than what they had, and come to find out it's not out there. You're looking for something beautiful that you had all along. Truly, this message keeps popping up in my readings. There's a reason for that. All right, guys, so that's what I'm getting when it comes to the divine masculine here. So hopefully for those of you watching for a masculine, that resonated. So we're going to go ahead and combine the energies of the feminine and the masculine, and let's take a look and see what the overall energy is for the connection at this point in time and where it could ultimately go moving forward. So we're going to grab some messages from the Journey of Love deck by Bridget Rao of Divine Essentials. Okay, so we'll grab a few from here. As always, take whichever one you're most drawn towards. So angels and spirit guides for Cancer for this bonus reading to wrap things up. When it comes to the connection between the feminine and the masculine, what are our final messages for this connection, for this reading? Denial, number 36. I keep telling myself it's not over. Okay, so someone's in denial here when it comes to the partnership. And it depends, of course, whether you're feminine or masculine and however way that's presenting itself in your connection. The next message, I wanted you the moment I saw you. Seduction, number 26. Wow. And this breaks down to a 9. 9s in tarot are tapped into things that come to fruition. 26 turns into an 8, which represents change. Look at this next card. Number 1, I promise I'll never let go. Infinite. And the ironic part of all that is I do feel part of the issue here is that you guys did let each other go. But given the chance to bring this back together with a second chance at love and romance and a reconciliation, you guys have learned your lessons and are just going to really make sure that the relationship stays on course and that you're never going to let each other go again. Let's grab a few more here. Angels and spirit guides for Cancer for this bonus reading. Some final messages here for the feminine and masculine. Jealousy. Okay, so somebody's jealous coming forward here. I've been watching you. Jealousy, number 43. And it's interesting because this breaks down to a 7. Sevens in tarot break down to the need for faith, or having faith that if it's meant to be, it will be. And some of you guys might be checking your person out on social media, especially if they are with somebody else, entertaining those options, especially for my feminines watching their masculine still, you know, hanging out with other people, talking to other people. And that can't feel good. That could certainly be very painful. But I really do feel here that it all comes down to timing and how this is all going to unfold. We have reminded of you constantly, synchronicity. So what I feel here, despite where your situation is, if you've got a partner that's with somebody else right now, if you guys are in separation, if there is this stalemate between the two of you, whatever it is, you guys are not together clearly, and you're still receiving signs from the universe on a daily basis that you're both still thinking about each other. That's because this is a connection that you can't run away from. Yes, you're going through some challenges right now, but I feel you just gotta trust that this is something that can still come back around. And in the meantime, all you can do is focus on yourself. Let your person do their thing. Let them come to their own realizations that if they belong to you, they're going to have to make the effort to come back to you. And in the meantime, live your best life. Don't put your life on hold waiting for this person to have that light bulb moment that they belong to you. You got to get out there and live. And the last message, ready to follow you anywhere, number 32, surrender. See? So this is a part of the progression here. You just got to wait until they're ready. And remember, from the masculines, if I can find it, I'm ready to settle down with you. Ready to follow you anywhere. Surrender. Okay? So if you're watching for a masculine and if he's just not there yet, I feel, give it a little bit more time. You might just be surprised where this ultimately ends up. And this could certainly be applied to my feminines as well, that your masculine is ready to settle down with you. They're ready to commit. They're ready to follow you anywhere. They wanted you the moment they saw you. Maybe you guys got lost somewhere along the line. But there's this promise of forever, to be able to have forever with you. Infinity. So just allow life to unfold, guys, and see where this ultimately can go. And in the meantime, focus on you. Heal your heart. If you're dealing with a broken heart, that's all you can do at this point, is to just throw it out into the universe. And if it comes back to you, that's because it was meant to be yours. All right, guys, so that's where I'm going to leave this one, Cancer. Thank you so much for tuning in, and I do hope that whatever part of this reading resonated with you, that it helped you out. If you are interested in your own personal private reading, all of that info is down below in the description box, and I'll be back real soon, guys, with more readings for you. Thank you so much. Take care.